Good afternoon to the Find Your Fire tribe. We're so happy to say that we're here again for another Fire Friday. Welcome. I'm Wendy Yorching, founder of Healing Spaces Caribbean, and with me is Petal Joseph Roberts. And today she's going to be talking to you about healing through tapping. For those of you who join us live on Facebook, please type hashtag live in the chat so we know you're here. If you're catching the replay, type hashtag replay when you do watch the replay, and of course leave your comments, because as always, Petal will be revisiting the threads and answering any questions you might have. And while she's presenting, I'm also going to be keeping an eye on the Facebook chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. So once again, Petal, thank you for being here. Warm welcome. So happy to have you. The floor is yours.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Wendy. Good afternoon, everyone. Greetings to each of you who have joined us on this virtual session this afternoon. My name, as Wendy said, is Petal, and I'm here to share with you a bit about the Emotional Freedom Technique practice, or EFT, fondly called tapping. So I will start to share my screen, but just to give you a bit about my story that led me to tapping in the first place. So pre-pandemic, 2019, this was basically my picture, single mom, working in a typical 9-to-5, not particularly fulfilling. It certainly was not up my alley in terms of my field. And I was really just going through the motions. There was something missing. I was feeling stuck. I started to see familiar signs of depression lurking, and I really did not want to go back down into that spiral. One of my spiritual teachers, Ian Van Zandt, who I've been following daily for many years, since my early 20s, was talking about doing an abundance program. And I said, okay, she hasn't led me wrong yet. I don't know what this abundance program is, but I could do with some prosperity. I could do with some abundance. I need something to kind of lift me out of this spiritual funk that I seem to be descending into. And we began the program. Of course, this was just after we realized what COVID was about. So this is early 2020, January to be exact, and the world itself was spiraling. So I was not the only person that was in this state of disorientation. And now it took on a whole different level and a whole different field because of this pandemic. Anyway, I took on the challenge and decided to pursue the prosperity program under her guidance. She kept saying to us, get the book. The book is the burger. What I'm doing with you is just the special sauce. The essence of the program is in the book. And I said, okay, so I ordered my book and I'm waiting for my book to come. But in the meantime, I'm preparing according to her direction. And I actually started the process before my copy of the book came. But it's a very small book. It's tiny. You could read it in one sitting, probably in half an hour. But what it contains, however, is quite mind-boggling. And certainly when you're already in a little state of confusion, taking in that kind of new information could be overwhelming. So anyway, I started the program, and she made it very clear that it was an active process and it was an intentional process. In other words, you had to do your work. This was not a situation where she was going to be teaching to a class and you were just sitting there taking notes. It was going to require you to do some actual work in the time that she was with us. So she explained to us what was involved, journaling. I wasn't unfamiliar with journaling. I could do that. Meditation. Well, I had always fancied myself a yogi, although I was far from that. So I figured meditation, I could handle that. That's not too intimidating. Grounding, typical stuff that I like. Breath work, a little unfamiliar, but how hard could breathing be? That's what I thought. And centering. So I was like, yeah, all things that are familiar. The tapping and the gazing were a little less familiar. And these were things that I had heard her speak of before, but had not really been able to experience. So she explained that the tapping was a technique that she loved, and she was going to explain it to us because that was going to really be the essence of our time, our work with her. So I said, okay, I am going to surrender here. I might as well, because me trying to be in control is not working. I am going to apply all my trust and faith to this process. I am committing to it, and I'm going to focus. Because really and truly, there wasn't anything wrong with my life, but I felt like there could be so much more, both in terms of what I was giving and in terms of how I felt and looked at my life. So there was a draw almost on a very spiritual level to engage in this process. So what really is tapping? It's referred to as psychological acupressure. So think about acupuncture for your mind, right? Commonly, you'll hear people say tapping, and there are different types of tapping. The particular technique that Iyanla Vanzant teaches is called Pro-EFT, pro for progressive, and it was developed by Lindsay Kenny. What makes it a little different is that there are slightly more points that they would use in a typical tapping round than, say, the common tapping process, right? Basically, tapping is based on a combination of Chinese acupressure and modern psychology. So it is used a lot by psychologists and people in the line of healing work as a stress relief technique. I like it as a self-regulating mechanism and a spiritual technology. So one of the main benefits, or the main reason that people use tapping, would be to help clear resistance by balancing the energy system of the body and restoring emotional alignment. And I just want to clarify here, when I say resistance, I'm talking about anything that is not in harmony with your true self, with that inner being, right? So anything that comes to bring you out of that alignment will be considered resistance. And it often shows up in our lives in terms of emotional feelings like anger, fear, the anxiety, depression, things I'm not so unfamiliar with, right? And can actually have physical impacts, make you feel tired, really slow you down, demotivate you, and even bring you to the point of illness or having pain. So these are some of the physical manifestations that can result from your body being out of balance, and spiritual, and having that kind of spiritual resistance. So tapping is really one of those techniques to help us eliminate our limiting beliefs and negative self-talk, right? Allowing the body and the mind actually to resume their natural healing abilities. So I said, I like what Iyanla put in there. This abundance thing she's selling songing real good. I want all of these things. I want the spiritual process because I really wanted to deepen and enrich that spiritual part of my life, that connection with source. And she explained that abundance was more than just money. And it was the first time that I really thought about abundance. We use the word and we know the definition, but in terms of what it meant for me, when I started to think about it, I realized that I really did have limiting beliefs around abundance. So I wanted to change that mindset. I wanted to expand the possibilities that I was entertaining for myself and just in life in general, right? So it was embarking on this process was for me a sign of my willingness to change, but really that wanting to eliminate that lack consciousness and the scarcity thinking. It was an attempt to correct my mindset. So this slide that we have in front of you here, I will leave up. These are the tapping points that we will use today as I take you through the process and the script. I will explain a bit about the tapping process for you. Because we use it often in spiritual work, in spiritual practice, it is done in two parts. We have the releasing, which is done first. We tap to release, and then we tap to imprint. So we release those limiting beliefs. We release the negative self-talk. We release anything that is resistance in the first round or the first 2 rounds or the first 3 rounds. And then we imprint in the next set of rounds those positive things. Sometimes affirmations are very useful in that instance. Anything positive that we would like to replace those limiting beliefs with, right? So that is typically the setup of how tapping will flow. There is also, before you start the releasing round, we have, how to describe it? It's really, we call it the setup. It is acknowledging how we feel. It's literally just acknowledging how we feel about the issue at hand. So for today, we will do abundance, right? That's a really feel-good one in terms of a script for me. So I'd like to share that with you in terms of an example of the practice that I use. And you will see that we start off with the setup statements, usually 2 or 3, where you simply acknowledge how you feel about whatever it is you're tapping on, right? We tend to do this on the side of the palm. You can use your dominant hand and tap on it with your non-dominant, or you can tap with your dominant hand on your non-dominant. It really does not matter too much in this instance, which hand you use to tap, right? So we will start there and repeat 2 rounds of what I call the setup statements. When we complete that, then we will start the series of tapping from the top side of eyebrow point, sorry. Then the side of eye. Then we go under eye. We have the nose and we have the chin, which are 2 separate points, or as we practice together, yeah? The collarbone, which is literally in the crevice here. Let me see if I can see myself so I'm demonstrating correctly. Here, see, right here. You see the bone here, and you want to get right under here for the collarbone, right? I like to use 2 fingers, but if you want to use the pads of all the fingers, that's fine. Collarbone. Then we do underarm, which is right up in your armpits, right up in there, or as high as you can get up. We also do right up under the girls. All right, up under the girls.
Under the girls, but where under the girls?
Under your, right on your rib cage, at the top of your breastbone there.
Okay, but in the center or under the center? Like, are we talking here?
Just off to the side, just off to the side. So
oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't see your girls, okay?
Sorry. Right. So that is usually the extra one that that we throw in with Yandler. It's not on this, it's not identified on this image today. And because you can't see me, we don't need to use it. So we will do the collarbone and we will go then to the wrist. And after the wrist, we will go to top of head, which is the final one before you start all over again. All right. So we'll go eyebrow, then we will go side of eye, then we go under eye. And as I say, nose and chin together. Then we do collarbone, then we do wrist, and then top of head. Yeah, so that's the sequence we will use when we start our tapping. So before I begin any of that, I like to ground myself with breathing. I like to find a natural rhythm of my breath first. Then I take about 2 or 3 deep inhales and exhales. And I start with 3 full conscious breaths, which means an inhale for 4 counts, holding it for 7 counts, and exhaling for 8. Usually I do 3 of those conscious breaths before I begin my tapping on the karate chop point. Now, one of the steps that I did not include, but I will explain to you, is what we call grounding. So it requires you to evaluate how you feel about the particular topic or issue that you're tapping. So we usually assess at the beginning of the tapping, and you rate that on a scale of 1 to 10. It's not a number that you have to share or anything like that. It's just for your personal awareness. So you check in with yourself. It's a check-in. You check in with yourself after you take those full conscious breaths. You just ask yourself, how do I feel about abundance? And you come up with that number, you hold on to that, and at the end, you do that same assessment. And hopefully your number has changed. Hopefully it goes up and you're vibrating on that topic at a higher level than before, right? So that is something that you can incorporate into your practice if you want to use tapping. As I said, I love tapping. It's easy, it's convenient, it's discreet because you can tap anywhere, honey. Once you know your tapping points, you could be in a meeting, they're stressing you out. You're like, if these people do, and they have no clue what you're doing, and you just bringing yourself back to that even keel. And I've done it, people. It helps. It does actually work, and that is one of the things I like about tapping. You can use it on the go every day in an actual situation. Or if you want to just limit it to your spiritual practice to enhance even your meditation, because as much as I like to think I'm great at meditation, I'm not. I have a busy mind. I have a monkey brain. So it takes me forever to quiet that mind. But tapping before, especially with that full conscious breath intro, tapping before really gets the energy to ground, center, and allows me to have a fuller meditation experience. Yeah, so we will start now with the deep breaths, and then we will go to the full conscious breaths. In we go. Deep breath in and out through the lips. In and out. In, out. One more. In and out. Full conscious breath. Now we inhale for 4, hold 7, and exhale for 8. And we go in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale through the lips. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale through the lips. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. And we begin on the karate chop point, as we call it, right here. And just repeat after me. Even though some part of me does not want to let go of all the stress, fear, anxiety, and worry caused by my outward beliefs about money, wealth, prosperity, and abundance. I choose to love and accept myself enough to raise my money vibration. Shake that out. Let's shake that out. Okay, I'm gonna switch hands. Next hand. Even though some part of me does not believe I can ever let go of these fears and beliefs about not having enough money, wealth, prosperity, or abundance in every area of my life. And that part of me believes I can never, will never have enough. I am ready and willing to release, surrender, and let go of the beliefs and fears that create stress, anxiety, and worry related to money, wealth, prosperity, and abundance. And that's why I love myself wholly and unconditionally. And we release that, we shake that out. And now we get ready to tap on the eyebrow point. Now, don't tap your brains out, people. Don't go too hard. It's happened before. You get carried away and you're drilling. Let's be gentle, okay? Let's be gentle with ourselves. And we're going right here. I will call out the point, and so you just move to the next point as I call it and repeat after me. We go. Eyebrows. I accept that I have been in a place of lack consciousness and scarcity thinking side of eye. And even though I don't know what caused it, under eye, I now allow myself to release it and let it go. Nose and chin. I bring love and compassion to that part of me. Collarbone. And I release all judgment, criticism, and blame. Underarm of myself and of others. Wrists together. I am willing to let go of my beliefs around limitation. Top of head. Those I have been conscious of, and even the ones I have been unconscious of. Back on the eyebrows. I release all ancestral experiences of lack consciousness and scarcity thinking. Side of eye. That have been passed on to me in any form. Under eye. I release them from my energetic body. Nose and chin. I release them from my physical body. Collarbone. I release them from my mental body. Underarm. I release them from my spiritual body. Wrists together. I release them from my emotional body. Top of head. I release all past experiences of my own lack. Eyebrow. It's time for me to move from the vibration of lack consciousness and scarcity thinking. Side of eye. To the vibration of abundance, wealth, and prosperity. Under eye. I am open to receive and experience abundance, wealth, and prosperity. Nose and chin. Abundance serves not only me, collarbone, but also everyone else. Underarm. It's for the highest good of all. Wrists together, and it is actually my true nature. Top of head. I am an integral part of an abundant, wealthy, and prosperous universe. Eyebrow. I am abundant. Side of eye. I have an abundant mindset. Under eye. I am living a life of abundance. Nose and chin. I am thankful for the abundance I have in my life. Collarbone. Every day I am attracting more abundance. Underarm. Every day I am becoming more abundant. Wrists together. I openly share the abundance I receive. Top of head. I am open to attracting even more abundance. Eyebrows. I was born to be abundant. Side of eye. I deserve abundance. Under eye. I am worthy of abundance. Nose and chin. I am manifesting abundance in my life with ease. Collarbone. I am open to more abundance in my life. Underarm, it's natural for me to be abundant. Wrists together, I am open to creative possibilities for abundance. Top of head, I receive abundance in so many ways. Eyebrow, I live in an abundant universe. Side of eye, I am aligned with the energy of abundance. Under eye, I create abundance through joy and self-love. Nose and chin, I am increasingly magnetic to abundance. Collarbone, I create abundance with positive energy. Underarm, I create abundance easily. Wrists, I create abundance consistently. Top of head, I am abundant and always have everything I need. Yes, indeed. Yes. And we take another deep breath in. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you did your number check-in at the beginning, you could check in with yourself again. And I will just read out loud. I am completely aligned with the natural flow of abundance on all levels.
I am completely aligned with the natural flow of abundance at all levels.
The spirit of infinite abundance is the truth of who I am.
The truth of who I am.
I am radiant, infinite abundance.
And infinite abundance.
Living and breathing.
Living and breathing.
I am marvelously abundant.
I am marvelously abundant.
And wealthy in consciousness.
In consciousness.
Yes. And that brings me to the end of my tapping for abundance practice.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Petal, would you like to unshare your screen and so we could see see each other, and then ask if there's any questions? I have to apologize. I had to mute because, as you know, I have construction on outside, and it would have been really loud. But I was in there with all the
I saw you.
Okay, and the poor fellow doing construction probably wondered what is she going on with.
What was going on?
Anyway, Terry and Kathleen, do you have any questions? I'm checking the chat, see if there's any questions. I don't believe there are any, as far as I can see.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed once again enjoyed this session of tapping, and it really is interesting how that connection is made. First you release and then you imprint. I really like that idea.
I enjoyed it. Yes, thank you.
Right, you're unmute. Great.
I enjoyed it. This is my second tapping session with you, Petal. Thanks a lot. And since the first session, I've been tapping every morning. Yes, so enjoying it. And want to find out though, why intake for 4 breaths, hold for 7, and then release for 8?
I am not an expert on the breathing because if you heard my intro, I thought, breathing, how hard could that be? But there really is a science to the numbers. I don't know if Wendy could explain anything better about the science of the numbers, but I do know that there is a science behind the numbers, the 4, 7, 8 in conscious breathing.
And I have to say, I don't know why that particular combination, Kathleen.
There are other combinations too, but that one in particular,
yes. And it depends on what you're trying to achieve. And I remember those, when we started this program, I said, the 4-7-8 combination almost saved my life during a dance competition, when my heart wouldn't come back down to normal rhythms between my competition sequences, and it was going bup, 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 bup. And I thought, my God, I'm going to pass out. What's going on? And it was like an hour, my heart was racing like that. And a friend of mine who knew the conscious breathing sequence said, Wendy, breathe. 4 in, 7 hold, exhale 8 out through your mouth. I did that for maybe 5 times, and my heart returned to normal. So I know it did something huge, because I don't understand why my heart beats stuck at high pace, because I love competing, but it did, and this changed the balance immediately. So this particular technique is useful, but there are other techniques for other things, for breathing. Yes. You can do courses on breath work. Yeah. But this definitely works.
Breath work is something else, Kathleen, that I've been exploring recently that has been really helpful. And it allows you to tap in. It is a meditative practice, because the breathing almost fools your body into that kind of hyperventilative state. So you can slip into a subconscious state with breath work. But there are different types of breath work. But all of them I have tried so far, I have found there was some benefit in the practice of the breathing. So certainly explore it if it is something you are interested in.
Yes, actually, the first time I was introduced to breath work was in Lamar's class, when our Lamar's teacher, Marilyn Stormai, was telling us, to breathe through contractions. And then when I do meditate, we do breath work. So I totally understand how powerful using the breath is to calm you down when you are feeling anxious. So thanks a lot, both you ladies. Thank you.
Thanks.
Fantastic questions. So Petal, I see no questions on the chat. Sometimes I miss them and we see them later. But just if we do, we'll of course answer people in the threads. But I wanted to thank Kathleen and Terry for being present with us on Zoom. And I want to thank you, Petal, as always, another excellent presentation. And this will wrap up our tapping sequence. I think it was a fitting way of pulling it all together. As you know, Terry and Kathleen, she gave us four sequences during the Monday meditations, and this is the information package. I think it's going to be.
And one thing I neglected to note: water. Essential in your tapping practice, before, during, after, because the tapping, you really do move energy through the body.
May I say,
essential.
Any energy work, including feng shui courses, water is essential. Why?
Hydration.
Because we are mostly water, and we are doing energetic work, and keeping ourselves hydrated helps the energy to flow and for the effects to be powerful. So always hydrate any energetic work, including if you have a massage. After the massage, drink some water. So with that, another wonderful bit of information. Petal, thank you so much. It has been a wonderful series, and it's going to be one that we value and revisit again and again. Many thanks. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, Terry.
Thank you.